Hello, welcome back to Open, and we are keeping with the theme of the theater today. Our last guests are taking the stage soon to explore what it means to deal with stereotypes and modern minstrelsies in Black culture. And we please welcome to our Open set Camille E. Brown and Brown and Tre Smith the third. Okay, both from Camille A. Brown Group, and you're here to share with us about your new project,
yes,
which is called
Mr. Tol E RAncE. It's a play on words.
It's Tol E RAncE,
right,
which is tolerance.
Right, it's tolerance. I just wanted to play with the words because the piece is basically shaped around satire. So taking away the play of the word, it's just talking about tolerance, what we as Black performers had to tolerate in the past, and then just asking the question now, what are we tolerating and why in today?
Okay, so I noticed that it's inspired by Bamboozled.
It's inspired by a lot of things. One of it is Bamboozled. The other one is Mel Watkins' book On the Real Side, and it's just about this idea of bringing past minstrelsy and applying it to what is current modern day minstrelsy. So it's not the dance version of Bamboozled.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
right. Let me be very clear.
Yeah. However, it is a social issue that is being addressed because it still exists in another realm.
Right.
Is what you're tapping into. Right.
Yeah.
So just to include Tre in the conversation, do you mind if I call you Tre?
Oh, no, that's
what we all call him.
Yeah.
That's what everybody calls him.
Yeah, that's what we call him.
I kind of figured that.
Yeah.
Tre.
I was about to say that's why it's there.
Instead of the third.
Right.
No.
Absolutely.
As a performer, and based on what she's sharing, how does one take a story and share it through movement? How about we go like this? How about you give me a topic and you express to me what your process is physically?
Okay. Well, I know one of your favorite sections is Showtime, so I guess we'll talk about that.
Well, the Showtime section is an overall celebration of the times of the time period of the 40s, and in the 40s, I really had to develop a character of what it was, to really be in the 40s, because I wasn't born in the 40s, so I have to really understand like what's going on and how my mannerisms are. And she is very quick to be like, no, that's not 40s. And it helps me to figure out, okay, yes, that's right. Even though I am playing around and I am, trying to investigate certain things in order for me to become a better performer. So, but in saying that, within the movement, I just tend to try to allow my body to adapt to different body language, because whenever you are because Showtime is a group of us, we're down on the corner.
How many of you are there?
7.
Right, and this is taking place in the 40s, the era of the 40s.
Yes,
this
particular section.
Right.
So within the body language, everybody has to completely turn off their Tre-isms or their Camille-isms. We all have to be. We all actually made up different names, so we all have to be somebody else. And that I'm still finding the freedom of allowing myself to try new things and then seeing how that reacts, or how somebody else reacts to me. So, in saying that, like that really just, her direction helping me to get to that point really is intriguing to me as an artist.
Okay, so now back to the topics at hand. Now, give me a through line of what the message is, and tell me the story without giving it all away, obviously, so that
I mean
they understand. That it's one of those things you gotta come see.
Yeah,
I can tell.
Yeah, well, I don't want to ruin everything, but in a nutshell, Black history, especially when you're dealing with stereotypes, it's a very complex topic. A lot of things that we do were birthed from the plantation, from slave shanties and all of that stuff. That's where comedy and entertainment came from. And then that progressed into vaudeville, which progressed into Broadway, which progressed into current day entertainment. So what we're doing is celebrating it, but also showing the pain and the idea of having investigating the human psyche behind the mask, because a lot of times with minstrelsy we're just only concerned with the smile and the big hands and the show, but a lot of the people that step behind the mask, they actually died very depressed and alcoholics, and a lot of comedy, which we don't know, we're all laughing when we see comedians, but a lot of their comedy comes from pain, personal things that affect them. So overall, it's talking about that, but also celebrating who we are.
It's interesting. It seems today's actual theme is mask.
Oh,
Yeah, we really. I was like,
yes.
I guess we're in the same, you know, realm.
Right, except right now we're dealing. Well, you know, hers was, you know, kind of like dealing with the spirituality, and this still deals with the spirituality of what entertainers do in kind of like masking what they're really feeling through their whatever it is that they create.
And what people do, because it's a universal theme, you know, because I think every day there's always something you don't feel like doing, but you have to do it. You have to put a smile on your face. You have to, you know, so it's not necessarily an artist theme. It's more of like a human theme. And by the end of the piece, that's what I want people to see. Yes, it's a black story because I'm black and I'm going to talk about that. But it's also about the human story too.
Right. Well, the human story of our existence based on where things are.
Right.
Where they were versus where they are now.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So how many years or eras do you actually tap into in the storyline?
We kind of go in and out of things. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do like a chronological thing. I didn't want the piece to be didactic, like in 1982. You know, I just didn't want people to feel like they needed a notepad and take notes.
Right.
So what I do is just like throw information at them, and it's probably, I know it's a lot of information, but by the end, it ties all together. So yeah, I've been working on it for 2 years, and I wanted to go at it from a way that makes you laugh, makes you cry, makes you feel uncomfortable, because these are all things that we go through in entertainment.
So what's the size of your cast?
It's 7 of us, and then we have a live musician, Scott Patterson. He's playing piano.
Nice. And so how long is the show?
So the show is 45 minutes running time, no intermission.
And what do you want people to leave with, as far as they're going to leave with whatever they need to leave with. However, based on the story that you're choosing to share, what do you hope that they leave with?
A more understanding of why they're laughing at things. Why are things funny? Because I think a lot of times we just laugh. It's not that laugh. It's like it catch fire. Like if you hear somebody laugh, you automatically start laughing, but you don't necessarily know what's funny. And I think it's just about being informed. You know, we all make choices, and you know, some people embrace stereotypes. A lot of people are embarrassed by them, but as long as you're informed, then that's the thing, and I want people to walk away with that.
You know, I'm just referencing this because there's, like, without sounding, you know, or tapping into racism, it's stereotypes versus pop culture, right? Like, there's a fine line there, right?
Yeah.
So what is it that, like, I guess, because this is what you're actually creating in your story, in your story, and so I'm trying to figure out, like, what is it that you're really trying to say, you know, like, to the next generation, really, obviously. It's like, and then doing it in a dance form, which is a language of its own.
Right. Well, my intention is not to, I think a lot of times when people create work and people come to see work, they want you to tell them the way. Show me the way, how I'm supposed to think. And I didn't want to create a piece where I would say at the end, stereotypes are wrong or stereotypes are right. It's really about the audience perception, and I'm just telling what the truth is, or what I see as my truth. And for the next generation, we're actually having a student show where it's just high school and college and youth organizations. And what we're doing is basically showing the past stereotypes and the current stereotypes. And then we're going to talk afterwards about, well, how do you feel about seeing these things? Basketball Wives, Love and Hip Hop, like, do you see you in that? Are you disturbed by it? Are you rooting them on when they're fighting? You know, what is that? And there's no right or wrong, it's just a discussion.
Right. So, this is just because I can't help myself. So, are you doing a scene where you're dancing with your pants down to your knees?
No, but I am referencing.
Because I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, that's what it is.
I'm waiting for that fat to be gone already.
Well, we go there.
No, trust us when we say that we tap into every single stereotype. We break each stereotype down, but not in chronological order, like she said before, but we are really tapping into what it is. You know, what it is. So, you know, it's not, you know, my parents are going to be down here, but we see people all the time. We see men all the time addressing females.
Why?
Yeah.
You know?
And strong language is used, you know, so we should definitely make that clear.
Right.
And
It's an age. There's an age appropriateness.
yeah, I would
like
say 13 and older,
Okay.
just because we do step into those stereotypes all the way. And we actually had a showing last weekend, and one of the members, one of our supporters, she was telling me, she wrote me an email, and she said she had all these emotions, and she said that when we started cursing, she felt uncomfortable, but then when we got into it, she understood that, well, if they're going to go, they have to go all the way.
That's it. So you got to keep it real. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank
All right.
you.
Once again, for more information on Mr. Tol E RAncE or Camille Brown and dancers, you can check them out by going to CamilleBrown.org. That's all the time we have for today's show. I hate when that happens. Thank you to our guests for coming through, and for you for tuning in, and love to everybody. And it's all about mass, people. Remember that. And of course, we'd like to invite you to view us tonight and throughout the entire weekend and online by going to BronxNet.org. And if you miss